The pain started small like a whisper. Maya thought maybe she ate something bad at lunch. But as days turned into weeks, that whisper became a scream inside her belly that wouldn't go quiet. She was 16, sitting in her chemistry class when another wave hit her. The kind of pain that made her fingers dig into the edge of her desk until her knuckles turned pale. Her teacher, Mrs. Patterson, was talking about molecules and atoms, but Maya couldn't hear anything except the pounding of her own heartbeat in her ears. "Maya, are you paying attention?" Mrs. Patterson's voice cut through the fog. Maya nodded quickly, forcing herself to sit up straighter. She couldn't miss any more classes. College applications were due soon, and her grades had to stay perfect. That's what her mom always said. Perfect grades meant scholarships. Scholarships meant a way out of their tiny apartment, where the heater barely worked in winter. When the bell rang, Maya gathered her books slowly. Standing up too fast made everything worse. Her best friend Jasmine waited by the door, concern written all over her face. "Girl, you look terrible," Jasmine said, not bothering to sugarcoat it. "You need to see a doctor." "I'm fine," Maya lied. She'd been lying a lot lately. To Jasmine. To her teachers. To her mom. Mostly to herself. "You said that yesterday. And the day before, and last week." Jasmine crossed her arms. "This isn't normal." Maya wanted to argue, but another cramp seized her stomach. She pressed her hand against her side and tried to breathe through it. "My mom says it's just stress. You know, with college stuff and everything. Your mom isn't a doctor. We can't afford a doctor right now." The words came out sharper than Maya intended. Jasmine's family had good insurance. 2 parents with steady jobs. They didn't understand what it was like to choose between a doctor's visit and keeping the lights on. Jasmine's face softened. "I'm sorry. I just worry about you. I know. I'll be okay. I promise." But Maya wasn't okay. By lunchtime, she could barely eat. She sat in the cafeteria, pushing food around her tray while Jasmine and their other friends talked about the basketball game and weekend plans. The noise around her felt distant, like she was underwater. The cafeteria was packed that day. Some millionaire was supposed to come talk about scholarships he was giving away. Everyone was excited about it. Maya had submitted her application weeks ago, though she didn't think she had much chance. Rich people probably gave scholarships to kids with perfect lives and perfect stories. Her story was just ordinary. A single mom, a small apartment, good grades earned by studying until midnight. Nothing special. "Maya?" Jasmine touched her arm. "You're sweating." She was. Cold sweat beaded on her forehead despite the cafeteria being its usual stuffy self. The pain had changed. It wasn't just cramps anymore. It felt like something sharp was twisting inside her over and over. "I think I need to lie down," Maya whispered. She tried to stand, but her legs wouldn't cooperate. The cafeteria tilted sideways. Voices around her got louder, then softer, then louder again. Someone was screaming. It took her a moment to realize the screaming was coming from her own mouth. "My stomach hurts so much." The words tore out of her as she crumpled to the floor. Everything became chaos. Students jumped up from their tables. Some rushed over to help. Others pulled out their phones because of course they did. Nothing happened at school without it ending up on social media. Maya could hear people shouting for teachers, for the nurse, for anyone who could help. The cold cafeteria floor pressed against her cheek. She curled into herself, trying to make the pain stop, but it just kept growing, like fire spreading through her belly. "Give her space," someone yelled. "Call 911. Is she having a seizure? Someone get the nurse. Through the blur of pain and voices, Maya saw the cafeteria doors burst open. Heavy footsteps ran toward her. She expected to see the school nurse or maybe the principal. Instead, she saw expensive shoes, the kind that probably cost more than her mom's rent. A man dropped to his knees beside her, older, maybe in his 50s, with salt and pepper hair and a suit that screamed money. His face was pale, eyes wide with something that looked like fear. But that didn't make sense. Why would a stranger be scared for her? "Maya." The man's voice cracked when he said her name. She stared up at him, confused. How did he know her name? Was he the millionaire everyone was talking about? But why would he know her? Why would he care? "Call an ambulance now." The man wasn't asking. He was commanding, the kind of voice that made people move. "Not in 5 minutes. Right now." The school security guard appeared, trying to take control of the situation. "Sir, we need you to step back. We have procedures." "I don't care about your procedures." The man's voice got harder, colder. "This girl needs a hospital." Look at her. She's barely conscious. Maya wanted to say something, wanted to ask who he was and why he was holding her hand like it was the most important thing in the world. But the pain swallowed up all her words. She could only cry, tears streaming down her face and onto the dirty cafeteria floor. "Stay with me, Maya," the man said, his voice gentler now. "Help is coming. Just stay with me." She didn't understand any of it. Through her tears, she could see Jasmine standing nearby, phone in hand, looking just as confused as Maya felt. Other students whispered and pointed. Teachers tried to clear the area. And this strange man in his expensive suit stayed right there on the floor with her, holding her hand like he had every right to be there. The pain reached a point where Maya couldn't think anymore. Couldn't wonder about the stranger. Couldn't worry about the stairs or the phones recording her worst moment. Everything narrowed down to just breathing. Just surviving the next second and the next and the next. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. The man squeezed her hand tighter. "You hear that? They're almost here. You're going to be okay. I promise you're going to be okay." Maya wanted to believe him. But she didn't know this man. Didn't know why he cared. Didn't know why he was making promises to a girl he'd never met before. At least she thought they'd never met before. Her vision was getting fuzzy around the edges, making it hard to be sure of anything. The last thing she saw before everything went dark was that man's face, the fear in his eyes, the way his hands shook even though he was trying to be strong for her. And the strangest part of all was the way he looked at her, like she wasn't just some random student having a medical emergency in the cafeteria, like she was someone who mattered to him, someone important, someone he'd been looking for his whole life. Maya woke up to the sound of beeping, steady, rhythmic beeping that matched the pounding in her head. Everything felt heavy, like she was wrapped in thick blankets even though she couldn't feel any covers on her. Her mouth tasted like metal and cotton at the same time. She tried to open her eyes, but the lights were too bright. White ceiling tiles, white walls, that sharp, clean smell that could only mean one thing. Hospital, she's waking up. A woman's voice, professional and calm. A nurse, probably. Maya managed to crack her eyes open just enough to see blurry shapes moving around her. One shape leaned closer and slowly it came into focus. The man from the cafeteria. Still in that expensive suit, though it looked rumpled now like he'd been wearing it for too long. Maya. He said her name like it meant everything. "Thank God." "Who?" Her voice came out as a croak. Her throat felt like sandpaper. "Don't try to talk yet," the nurse said, appearing on her other side with a cup of water and a straw. Small sips. The water helped, but it didn't help with the confusion. Maya looked at the man again. Really looked at him. He had kind eyes, the color of dark honey. Lines around those eyes that came from either laughing a lot or worrying a lot. Right now those lines were deep with worry. "I don't understand," Maya whispered. "How do you know my name?" The man opened his mouth, then closed it again. He looked at the nurse, then at the door like he was trying to figure out what to say. Before he could answer, the door burst open and Maya's mom rushed in. "Maya!" "Oh, my baby, my baby." Her mom's voice broke as she ran to the bed, pushing past the man to grab Maya's hand. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. I should have taken you to the doctor weeks ago. This is all my fault. Mom, I'm okay." Maya squeezed her mother's hand even though she wasn't entirely sure she was okay. Her stomach felt weird. Numb but also sore at the same time. "You're not okay. You had surgery. Your appendix ruptured. The doctor said if you'd waited even a few more hours." Her mom couldn't finish the sentence. She just cried, holding Maya's hand like she was afraid to let go. Surgery. The word took a moment to sink in. Maya touched her stomach gently and felt bandages under the thin hospital gown. "Mrs. Johnson." The man's voice was quiet but firm. Maya's mom froze. She turned slowly and the look on her face was something Maya had never seen before. Shock, fear, anger, maybe all three at once. "You," her mom breathed. "What are you doing here?" "We need to talk." "We have nothing to talk about." "You need to leave now." The man didn't move. "I'm not leaving my daughter." The room went completely silent. Even the nurse stopped checking the IV and stared. Maya's brain tried to process what she'd just heard, but it didn't make sense. Couldn't make sense. "You're what?" Maya heard herself say. Her mom's face crumbled. "Maya, sweetie, I don't think." "I know." He pulled out his phone with shaking hands and showed her a photo. It was a DNA test result. Her name at the top. His name below it. 99.9% probability of paternity. The beeping from the monitor got faster. Maya realized it was tracking her heartbeat and her heart was racing. How did you? She couldn't form complete questions. 3 weeks ago, he said, I was running background checks on scholarship applicants. Standard procedure. My team found something unusual in your file. A birth certificate with no father listed. But when they dug deeper, they found old records from the hospital where you were born. Your mother had listed my name once, then crossed it out. My investigators followed the trail. Maya looked at her mom. Is this true? Her mom's tears came harder. I tried to find him when I was pregnant with you. I swear I did. But he'd moved away. His phone was disconnected. He'd dropped out of college to start some business. I didn't know where he went. I didn't have money to hire investigators or lawyers. I was 20 years old and scared and alone. I never knew, the man said, his voice rough with emotion. Diana, if I had known, I would have been there. You have to believe that. How can I believe anything from you? Maya's mom shot back. You left. You chased your dreams and your money and you left. We weren't even together when I left. We dated for 3 months. You never told me because I didn't know yet. And by the time I found out, you were gone. Stop. Maya's head was pounding. The beeping was getting too loud. Everything was too loud. Just stop. The nurse stepped forward. I think everyone needs to take a breath. My patient just had major surgery and her vitals are all over the place. Whatever family drama this is, it can wait. But Maya didn't want it to wait. She needed answers. What's your name? The man looked surprised by the question. Devin Wellington. Maya had heard that name before. It took her a second to place it, and then she remembered. The scholarship assembly. The millionaire everyone was excited about. She'd seen his face on the flyer in the hallway, though she'd barely glanced at it. You're the tech guy, she said. The one who invented that app everyone uses. Yes. And you're saying you're my father? I am your father. Maya laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was the kind of laugh that came out when nothing made sense anymore. This is insane. This morning I was worried about my chemistry test. Now I'm in a hospital bed and some billionaire is telling me he's my dad. This doesn't happen in real life. But it is happening, Devin said softly. And I know this is overwhelming. I know you don't know me. But Maya, when I got that report 3 weeks ago, my whole world changed. I have a daughter. A smart, brave, amazing daughter. I've been trying to figure out how to approach this, how to reach out to your mother, how to do this right. And then today I was at your school for the assembly and I heard someone shout your name. I saw you on the floor. I saw you in pain. And nothing else mattered except getting to you. That's why you knew my name, Maya said slowly. That's why I knew your name. Her mom wiped her eyes. Devin, you can't just show up after 16 years and expect— I don't expect anything, he interrupted. Except the chance to know my daughter. The chance to help. Do you know how much this surgery is going to cost, even with insurance? We'll manage. We always manage. You shouldn't have to just manage. Not when I can help, not when I want to help. Maya watched them talk, these two people who'd created her but hadn't spoken in nearly 17 years. Her mom looked tired. She always looked tired, working her 2 jobs, trying to keep everything together. But right now she looked more than tired. She looked defeated. I need time to think, Maya said. Her stomach hurt. Her head hurt. Everything hurt. I just had surgery and found out my entire life is different than I thought. I need everyone to just stop for a minute. Devin nodded. Of course. I'm sorry. This isn't the right time. He pulled out a business card and set it on the small table beside her bed. My number. All my numbers. When you're ready to talk, if you're ever ready, call me. He walked to the door, then paused. I'm paying for your medical bills. All of them. That's not up for discussion. And Maya? I'm not going anywhere. Take all the time you need, but I'm not disappearing again. After he left, the room felt smaller somehow. Maya looked at her mom, who was staring at the closed door like she was seeing a ghost. Mom? I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry you had to find out like this. Did you love him? Her mom's lips trembled. Once, a long time ago. We were just kids, really. But yes, I loved him. And then he was gone. And I had to learn to love you enough for 2 parents. Maya closed her eyes. I need to sleep. Okay, I'll be right here. But as Maya drifted off, she could still see that business card on the table. Could still hear Devin's voice saying he wasn't going anywhere. Her whole life had changed in one day. And she had no idea what happened next. 3 days passed in the hospital. 3 days of doctors checking her stitches, nurses taking her temperature every few hours, and her mom sleeping in the uncomfortable chair by her bed. 3 days of staring at that business card on the table, wondering if she should throw it away or keep it. Jasmine visited on the second day, bringing homework and gossip from school. "Girl, you're all anyone can talk about," she said, settling into the chair when Maya's mom went to get coffee. "The video of you passing out has like 50,000 views." "Great," Maya muttered. "That's exactly what I wanted. To be famous for screaming in pain on a dirty cafeteria floor. It's not that bad. Most of the comments are people hoping you're okay." Jasmine paused. "Is it true? About the millionaire being your dad?" "Apparently. That's wild. Like movie wild." "What are you going to do?" Maya touched the bandages on her stomach. "I don't know. What am I supposed to do?" "Hi, nice to meet you. Thanks for the DNA I've been walking around with for 16 years. Jasmine laughed, but her eyes were serious. "Are you mad at your mom?" That was the question Maya had been avoiding. Was she mad? She felt something, but anger wasn't quite the right word. "I'm confused. She said she tried to find him, and I believe her. But also she never told me. All these years, I thought my dad just didn't want me. Turns out he didn't even know I existed. That's heavy." "Yeah." The doctor came by that afternoon with news Maya wasn't ready to hear. "The infection spread more than we initially thought," Dr. Patel explained, his kind face serious. "Your appendix had actually ruptured at least 12 hours before you got to the hospital. Maybe longer. You're going to need another procedure to clean out the remaining infection, and your recovery time just got a lot longer." Maya's mom's face went pale. "Another surgery? How much longer?" "At least 6 weeks before she's fully recovered. Maybe 8. No school, no physical activity. Careful monitoring for complications." After the doctor left, Maya watched her mom do mental math. 6 weeks. That was 6 weeks of missing work to take care of her. 6 weeks of medical bills piling up. 6 weeks of falling behind on rent, on utilities, on everything. "Mom, I'll be fine. You can go back to work." "No." Her mom's voice was firm. "You almost died because I didn't take you seriously. I'm not making that mistake again. But the bills..." I said no, Maya. That night, after her mom finally fell asleep in the chair, Maya picked up the business card. The numbers looked back at her like a test she hadn't studied for. She thought about 6 weeks of recovery, about her mom's tired face, about the fact that they'd been struggling even before hospital bills entered the picture. She thought about Devin saying he wanted to help. Her fingers dialed before her brain could talk her out of it. The phone rang twice. "Hello?" His voice sounded alert despite it being almost 11 at night. "It's Maya." Silence. Then Maya, "Hi, are you okay? Do you need something?" "The doctor says I need another surgery. More recovery time. My mom's going to lose her jobs trying to take care of me, and we can't afford that. We can barely afford life on a good day. I'm coming to the hospital." "No, wait. I'm 10 minutes away. I've been staying at a hotel nearby just in case." "I'm coming." He hung up before she could argue. Maya stared at the phone, her heart racing. What had she just done? She looked at her sleeping mom and felt a wave of guilt, but also relief. Because maybe, just maybe, she didn't have to carry everything alone anymore. Devin showed up in 9 minutes, not 10. He was wearing jeans and a regular shirt this time, looking more like a normal person and less like a millionaire. His hair was messy, like he'd been running his hands through it. "Tell me everything," he said quietly, pulling up another chair so he wouldn't wake Maya's mom. So she did. She told him about the second surgery scheduled for 2 days from now. About her mom's 2 jobs, one at a diner and one cleaning offices at night. About their apartment with the broken heater and the landlord who kept threatening to raise the rent. About how her mom never bought anything for herself. How she wore the same 3 outfits to work and pretended she wasn't tired, even though exhaustion lived in her bones. Devin listened to all of it, his jaw getting tighter with each detail. "Let me help," he said when she finished. "I don't even know you." "No, you don't. But I'm your father, Maya. Maybe I wasn't there before, but I'm here now, and I have resources you need. That's not charity. That's what family does. We're not family. Family is more than DNA." The words came out harsher than she meant them to, but Devin didn't flinch. "You're right. Family is time and trust and being there. I can't change the past. I can't give you back 16 years. But I can be here now. Let me be here now. Maya felt tears building up. She'd been so strong the last few days, so focused on just surviving. But something about his words cracked something open inside her. Why do you even care? You have your own life. Your company. Your money. You could just write a check and forget about us. Is that what you think I want to do? I don't know what to think. Her raised voice woke her mom, who sat up fast, confused and disoriented. When she saw Devin, her whole body tensed. What's going on? Her mom looked between them. Maya, what did you do? I called him. I'm sorry, but I called him. Why would you? Because we need help, Mom. Maya's voice broke. You're going to work yourself to death trying to take care of me. We're going to lose the apartment. I'm going to fall so far behind in school I might not graduate on time. We need help and he's offering it, and I don't understand why you're too proud to take it. The silence that followed was heavy. Her mom's face cycled through a dozen emotions before landing on something that looked like defeat, mixed with anger, mixed with fear. You don't understand, her mom said quietly. Once you take help from someone like him, you owe them. That's how it works. I don't want you to owe me anything, Devin said. I want to know my daughter. I want to help because that's what I should have been doing all along if I'd known. Diana, I'm not trying to take her from you. I'm not trying to buy her love. I just want a chance. A chance at what? At being her father. Maya watched them stare at each other, years of hurt and confusion hanging in the air between them. They'd been so young when they'd met, just college kids figuring out life, and then circumstances had pulled them apart, and a whole person had come into existence without one of them knowing. Here's what's going to happen, Devin said, his voice calm but firm. I'm paying for Maya's medical bills. All of them. That's not negotiable. I'm also setting up a fund to cover lost wages while you take care of her. You shouldn't have to choose between being there for your daughter and paying rent. I don't want your money. It's not about what you want anymore. It's about what Maya needs. And she needs her mother healthy and present, not killing herself working 3 jobs. He looked at Maya. And I'd like to visit, if that's okay with you. Just to talk. To get to know you. No pressure, no expectations, just time. Maya looked at her mom, whose eyes were filled with tears. Then at Devin, who looked more hopeful than any billionaire had a right to be. Okay, Maya heard herself say. You can visit. Her mom made a sound like a sob, but she didn't argue. Maybe she was too tired to argue. Maybe she knew Maya was right. Maybe she was just scared of what came next. Devin smiled, and it transformed his whole face. Thank you. That's all I'm asking for. Just a chance. After he left, promising to come back the next day, Maya's mom finally spoke. Are you sure about this? No, Maya admitted. But I'm sure we can't keep doing what we've been doing. Something has to change, Mom. Maybe this is the change we need. Her mom squeezed her hand. I'm scared. Me too. They sat in the dark hospital room holding hands, both of them standing on the edge of something new and terrifying, and maybe, just maybe, something good. The second surgery went better than the first, but recovery was brutal. Maya spent 2 weeks in the hospital before the doctors finally cleared her to go home. Home felt different now. Devin had quietly paid off 3 months of rent, fixed the heater, and made sure the fridge was stocked. Her mom pretended not to notice at first, then pretended to be annoyed, then finally just accepted it with tears she tried to hide. Devin visited every other day. At first, the conversations were awkward and stilted. What do you say to a father you never knew existed? What does he say to a daughter who's practically a stranger? What's your favorite color? Devin asked on his 3rd visit, sitting in the old armchair across from the couch where Maya was propped up with pillows. Maya almost laughed. That's what you want to know? My favorite color? I want to know everything. But we have to start somewhere. He looked genuine, almost vulnerable. This billionaire who commanded boardrooms looked nervous, asking about colors. Purple. Like deep purple, not that light lavender stuff. He pulled out his phone and typed something. Maya craned her neck to see. He was making a list about her. Favorite color, deep purple. What are you doing? 16 years of information to catch up on. I'm taking notes. He looked up, almost embarrassed. Is that weird? Kind of. But also kind of sweet, I guess. Over the next few weeks, the list grew. Favorite food, tacos from the truck on 5th Street. Favorite subject, English, because she loved stories. Least favorite subject, gym, obviously. Favorite movie, anything scary. Dream college. somewhere far away where she could study journalism and write about things that mattered. Why journalism? Devin asked one afternoon. Her mom was at work, finally back to just one job instead of two, thanks to the fund Devin had set up. Maya shrugged, then winced because she still couldn't move too fast without her stitches pulling. I like the truth. I like when people tell real stories about real things. Not fake stuff. Not pretending everything's perfect when it's not. Devin was quiet for a moment. You'd be good at that. You're honest. Sometimes brutally honest. Is that a compliment? It is. Honesty is rare, especially in my world. Everyone wants something. Everyone's playing an angle, but you just say what you think. Mom says I need to learn when to keep my mouth shut. Your mom is probably right about a lot of things. Devin smiled. She raised an incredible kid all by herself. That takes strength I can't even imagine. Those words stuck with Maya. He could have been bitter that he missed out. He could have blamed her mom for not trying harder to find him. But instead he gave credit where it was due. Maybe that's what made her start to soften toward him, not the money or the gifts. The respect he showed for the woman who'd done all the hard work alone, but not everything was smooth. About a month into recovery, Maya had her first real fight with Devin. He'd brought up the scholarship again, the one he'd been at school to announce the day everything happened. You're getting it. Full ride to any college you want. Room, board, everything. No. Devin blinked, surprised. No? I don't want special treatment because you're my father. That's not fair to everyone else who applied. Maya, you earned this. Your grades are exceptional. Your essay was one of the best we received. Before or after you knew I was your daughter? The question hung in the air like smoke. Devin's face tightened. I didn't read your application until after I knew. I specifically told my team not to show it to me, because I didn't want anyone thinking I was showing favoritism. Your application was scored by independent reviewers who had no idea about our connection. You made the finalist list on your own merit. Maya wanted to believe him, but doubt was a stubborn thing. How do I know that's true? Because I'm telling you it's true, and because you can verify it yourself. The scoring sheets are all documented and time-stamped. He pulled out his phone and forwarded her something. There, every application, every score, every comment from reviewers. Your application is number 7. Look at the dates. All scored before I even knew your name. Maya looked at the documents on her phone. He was right. The timestamps proved it. She'd made the list fair and square. The relief that washed over her was unexpected. She hadn't realized how much she needed to know she'd earned it herself. I'm sorry, she said quietly. I shouldn't have accused you. You have every right to question things. Trust isn't automatic. It's earned. I'm still earning it. That night, Maya thought about trust, about how hard it was to give and how easy it was to lose. Her mom had trusted Devin once in a different lifetime. Then he'd disappeared and that trust had shattered even though it wasn't really his fault. Now here they were, trying to build something new from broken pieces. The following week brought a different kind of challenge. Maya's doctor wanted to see her for a follow-up and the news wasn't great. The infection had done more damage than they'd initially thought. Nothing life-threatening, but she'd need physical therapy. Lots of it. And she couldn't go back to school for at least another month. A month? Maya felt panic rising. But finals are in 6 weeks. And college applications and scholarships and your health is more important than school, her mom said firmly. But Maya could see the worry in her eyes too. Devin, who'd come to the appointment, cleared his throat. What if we brought school to her? Tutors, the best ones available. She could keep up with her coursework from home until she's cleared to go back. Tutors cost money, her mom said automatically. Money I have. Money I want to spend on my daughter's education. There it was again. My daughter. Every time he said it, something in Maya's chest tightened. Half wanting to believe it, half terrified to believe it. The tutors started the next week. Mrs. Chen for math and science. Mr. Rodriguez for English and history. They were good. Really good. The kind of teachers who made hard things make sense. Maya found herself actually enjoying homework for the first time in months. But the best part of recovery was the conversations. Real ones, deep ones. Devin started telling her about his life. About growing up poor, poorer than she'd ever been. About his mom working 3 jobs and still barely making rent. About getting a scholarship to college, then dropping out when he had an idea that couldn't wait. Do you regret it? Dropping out? Maya asked one evening. The sun was setting through the window, painting everything gold. Sometimes, when I think about your mom and how we lost touch, if I'd stayed, maybe we would have figured things out. He paused. But then I think about all the people my company has helped. The apps that connect families. The tools that make life easier. Maybe it all happened the way it was supposed to. That's a cop-out answer. Devin laughed. You're right. It is. Truth? I regret not knowing you. Every birthday I missed. Every first day of school. Every time you needed a dad and I wasn't there. That's what I regret. Maya felt tears prickling her eyes. You couldn't have been there if you didn't know. No, but I can be here now. If you'll let me. They sat in silence for a while, watching the sun go down. Maya thought about how weird life was. How one day could change everything. How pain could lead to something unexpected and complicated and maybe eventually something good. Her mom came home from work and found them like that, sitting in comfortable quiet. She didn't look angry anymore, just tired and maybe a little hopeful. Dinner? She asked. I'll order something, Devin offered. What does everyone want? Tacos, Maya and her mom said at the same time, then laughed. Devin grinned. From the truck on 5th Street? You remembered, Maya said, surprised. I told you. I'm taking notes. That night, they ate tacos together on the couch, Maya's mom and Devin carefully navigating around years of hurt, while Maya sat between them, literally and figuratively. They talked about small things, safe things, the weather, a funny customer at her mom's diner, a problem Devin was having with new software at his company. It wasn't perfect. It was awkward and sometimes silent and definitely weird. But it was something, a start, a foundation they could maybe build on. As Devin left that night, he paused at the door. Thank you, both of you, for giving me a chance I don't deserve. After he was gone, Maya looked at her mom. Are you okay with this? Really okay? Her mom sighed. I don't know. Ask me again in a year. Maybe 5 years. Maybe 10. But Maya, I see the way he looks at you. Like you hung the moon. That's how fathers are supposed to look at their daughters, and I couldn't give you that before. So yeah, I'm okay with it. Scared, but okay. Maya hugged her mom, careful of her still healing stomach. They stayed like that for a long time, holding on to each other while the world shifted around them, making room for one more person in their small, complicated family. Maya went back to school 8 weeks after the surgery. 8 weeks that had changed everything about her life. Walking through those doors felt surreal, like she was a different person than the girl who'd collapsed on the cafeteria floor. People stared. Of course they did. She was the girl from the viral video, the girl whose secret billionaire dad had showed up like something from a movie. Jasmine met her at her locker, relief washing over her face. Thank God you're back. I was dying without you. Jasmine hugged her carefully, mindful of Maya's still tender stomach. How are you feeling? For real, not the fake answer you give teachers. Tired, scared, different. Maya opened her locker and stared at the photos taped inside. Pictures from before, when life was simpler and harder at the same time. Everything's weird now, Jazz. Weird bad or weird good? Maya thought about it. Weird both. Devin's nice, like genuinely nice, but it's still strange having this whole other person in my life. And my mom is trying, but I can tell she's struggling with it. She'll be fine one day, and then the next day she'll get this look on her face like she's waiting for him to disappear again. Are you worried he will? Sometimes, late at night when I can't sleep, I worry that this is temporary, that he'll get bored of playing dad and go back to his real life. Has he given you any reason to think that? No, that's what makes it scarier. If he was flaky or unreliable, I could protect myself. But he shows up every time he says he will. He remembers little things. He actually listens. Maya closed her locker. It's hard to keep your walls up when someone keeps trying to knock them down in the nicest way possible. Classes were brutal. She'd kept up with tutors, but being back in the building, surrounded by people and noise and expectations, was exhausting. By lunch, Maya was ready to go home. But Jasmine dragged her to the cafeteria anyway. You can't avoid it forever. It's just a room. But it wasn't just a room. It was where everything had changed. Maya stood at the entrance looking at the spot where she'd fallen. Someone had spilled something there recently. A janitor was mopping it up. Life went on. The world didn't stop because one girl had a medical emergency. They found a table in the corner. Maya picked at her food while Jasmine caught her up on 2 months of school drama. Who was dating who? Which teacher had quit? The fight that had happened during the basketball game. Normal things. Regular teenage problems that felt foreign to Maya now. Oh, and the scholarship results come out next week, Jasmine said casually. Maya's stomach dropped. Next week? Yeah. The Wellington Foundation is announcing the winners. Are you nervous? Maya thought about the documents Devon had shown her. The proof that she'd made the finalist list on her own merit. But doubt was still there, lurking. What would people say when she won? Because Devon had basically told her she was getting it. Would anyone believe she'd earned it? That night she called Devon. He answered on the first ring. He always did. Hey, everything okay? The scholarship results come out next week. I know. She could hear the smile in his voice. Nervous? What if people think I only got it because of you? What if they're right? Devon was quiet for a moment. Maya, do you remember what your essay was about? She did. She'd written about her mom, about watching her work herself to exhaustion, and still find time to help Maya with homework, about learning that strength wasn't about being loud or powerful. It was about showing up every day even when you were tired, even when things were hard. I remember. That essay made 3 reviewers cry. Not because I'm your father. Not because of anything except the truth in your words. You have a gift, Maya, a real one. Don't let doubt steal that from you. After they hung up, Maya thought about gifts, about the things you were born with and the things you had to work for. She'd been so focused on whether she deserved the scholarship that she'd forgotten to think about what she'd do with it. The journalism classes she could take, the stories she could tell, the truth she could share with the world. The next week passed in a blur of final exams and project deadlines. Maya pushed through the exhaustion, determined to finish the semester strong. Her mom worked her single job now, actually home for dinner most nights. Devon came by twice that week, bringing food and helping Maya study for her history final. It was strange how normal it had become. This man at their kitchen table, quizzing Maya on World War II dates, laughing when she got frustrated and threw her pencil. Her mom bringing them tea and actually sitting down to drink it with them instead of rushing off to another shift. On Friday, the scholarship announcement was scheduled for 3 in the afternoon. The whole school gathered in the auditorium. Maya sat between Jasmine and her mom, her hands sweating. Devon was supposed to give a speech first, then announce the winners. He walked onto the stage looking every bit the successful businessman in his perfect suit. But when his eyes found Maya in the crowd, his whole face softened. He smiled at her, just a small one, like they were sharing a secret. Good afternoon, he started. When I created the Wellington Foundation, I wanted to give back to kids who reminded me of myself. Kids who work hard. Kids who have dreams bigger than their circumstances. Kids who understand that success isn't about where you start. It's about how hard you're willing to work to get where you're going. He talked about education and opportunity. About believing in yourself even when others don't. About the importance of helping each other up instead of stepping on each other to get ahead. Then he started announcing names. 5 scholarships, 5 students whose lives were about to change. Maya's name was third. The applause was deafening. Jasmine screamed and hugged her. Her mom was crying, pressing her hands to her mouth. Maya stood on shaky legs and made her way to the stage. Devon shook her hand formally for the cameras, but his eyes were wet. Congratulations, he said officially. Then quieter, just for her. I'm so proud of you. Maya accepted the certificate and stood with the other winners while photos were taken. But her mind was spinning. She'd done it. She'd actually earned this on her own merit. The proof was in those scores, those timestamps, those tears from reviewers who'd never even heard her name before. After the ceremony, reporters wanted interviews. Maya did a few, carefully answering questions about her plans and her goals. When someone asked about Devon being her father, she was ready. I found out 2 months ago, right before I had emergency surgery. It's been complicated and weird and sometimes hard, but here's what I know. I earned this scholarship. I earned it before I knew who my father was. I earned it with hard work and honest words. That matters to me more than anything else. The reporter seemed surprised by her directness, but Maya had learned something these past 2 months. The truth, even when it was messy and complicated, was always better than pretending. Later that evening, they celebrated at home. Just the 3 of them. Takeout from the taco truck and a cake her mom had made that was lopsided but covered in purple frosting. Maya's favorite color. Devin had brought sparkling cider and a card that made Maya cry when she read it. To my daughter, it said inside. I missed your first breath, your first word, your first step. But I'm here for this, and I'll be here for everything that comes after. I'm not going anywhere. Love, Dad. Dad. He'd signed it, Dad. Maya looked up at him with tears streaming down her face. You've never called yourself that before. I was waiting for it to feel right. Does it feel right? Maya thought about the last 2 months. The awkward conversations. The slow building of trust. The way he showed up and kept showing up. The way he respected her mom instead of trying to erase her. The way he listened, really listened when Maya talked. Yeah, she said. It feels right. Her mom reached over and squeezed Devin's hand. Just for a second, but it was there. A moment of something that might become forgiveness. Might become friendship. Might become something neither of them could name yet, but both were willing to explore. They ate cake and talked about college plans. About Maya's dream of becoming a journalist. About the stories she wanted to tell. Stories about real people with real problems who found real solutions. Stories like hers. You know what we should do? Devin said suddenly. Create a fund. For kids who have medical emergencies and can't afford treatment. For kids whose symptoms get ignored because they're young or because they don't have insurance. Maya, you almost died because you waited too long. How many other kids are out there right now hurting, scared to speak up? Maya felt something click into place. The Maya Johnson Medical Advocacy Fund. No, Devin said gently. The Johnson Wellington Medical Advocacy Fund, both families. Working together. Her mom started crying again. Happy tears this time. I think that's perfect. Maya looked at her parents. Both of them. The mother who'd raised her alone and the father who'd shown up late but was determined to stay. They weren't perfect. Their situation wasn't perfect. But it was real. It was honest. It was theirs. I almost died 2 months ago, Maya said quietly. My appendix ruptured and I was in so much pain I couldn't think straight. But you know what? I think maybe I needed to break apart before I could be put back together. Before we could all be put back together. Devin raised his glass of sparkling cider. To breaking apart and healing stronger. To second chances, her mom added. To family, Maya finished. The one you're born with and the one you choose to build. They clinked glasses and drank. Outside the sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of purple. Deep purple. Maya's favorite. And for the first time in months, maybe years, she felt something she'd almost forgotten existed. Hope.